everyone, how you guys doing? It's William here, and I want to make my reaction to the F1 2026 calendar, and here it goes. So the 2026 calendar already been revealed, literally weeks after Barcelona, and it all been revealed to see there are gonna be 24 races on the calendar, and for the for the second consecutive season that they're gonna run 24 races for the third consecutive season in the F1 history, the longest calendar they're gonna run. And people receive some are negatives and positively. Like here's a rundown the order from the rounds from round 1 to 24. You got round 1 in Melbourne, Australia. Back in season opener once again. You got China in Shanghai, in which it could possibly be a contract year. You got or now somehow extended. You got Japanese Grand Prix in Suzuka in round 3. There are going to be 3 Pacific races. And you got the two Middle East races of Bahrain and Saudi Arabia, and you got the 2 United States Grand Prix on the calendar. In which that one I kind of like the idea that they're gonna race in America for 2 times instead of just go back and forth. That I kind of have a positivity, but and now for the first time in a long while, Monaco and Indy 500, they're not going to be in the same date. Now it's going to be round 7 in Canada, and round 8 moved in June 5 to June 7 in Monaco. You got Barcelona and Catalonia. You got Austria. You got the Great Britain. You got Belgium in 12 rounds, in which that one we'll talk about it later. You got Hungarian Grand Prix in round 13. And you got Dutch Grand Prix, in which it will be the final time we're going to see that track on the calendar. You got Monza in Italy. It's going to be one and only Italian race in the calendar. And you got a very controversial race that everyone received a negativity. You got a brand new street circuit in Spain, in Madrid, and people got a lot of hate because the track in Imola is gone. But we're going to talk about that later. And now you got Azerbaijan, the last race of the European Tour. And now they got to switch to go. And now they got to go to Singapore in the Pacific one last time. And you got 4 United States Grand Prix of Texas. You got Mexico Grand Prix, you got Brazilian Grand Prix, and Las Vegas, the last of the American Tour, is back once again. And you got Qatar and Lusail in the penultimate round, and you got Abu Dhabi in Yas Marina in round 24 in December 4 to 6. And now we're going to talk about the calendar. So almost got extended, and some they aren't. And the tracks are gone, like San Marino. Formula One didn't want a second part of Italy, and now you allowed it's 2 Spanish Grand Prix in the calendar, Barcelona and Madrid, and people got a lot of hate, like a Formula One. And Madrid, it's a street circuit. F1 did go for the money instead of the OG tracks of Imola. They did not renew it, and it is a very sad day for F1. And now we're gonna talk about the calendars that they of the contract extensions, do they stay or they not? And here are the the contracts of the contract lengths that they planned. You got Imola to 2025, which is already officially been out. You got 2026 of Azerbaijan, Austin, Barcelona, and Dutch. In Dutch Grand Prix and Texas, there's a high possibility they could extend it. Or Azerbaijan, probably not, might not extend, but it might possibly extend. You got Barcelona, Catalonia, and Netherlands Grand Prix. Both, they're on the contract year for 2026, and there's a high possibility that the Barcelona is going to be gone in Formula One, in which another OG track is going to be gone. And you got Netherlands Grand Prix, which it extended for one more year, just one, not multi-year. The fans of the popularity, they love the Dutch GP, but the government, they did not provide support for Dutch to basically continue on. So that's gonna leave Dutch Grand Prix nothing. And you got to 2028, Singapore, it will remain on the calendar. It will remain in the Formula One for a long time. Mexico, and now, like a few weeks ago, or so, or a month ago, Mexico Grand Prix, surprisingly, it's extended the contract deal for 3 more years, despite Sergio Perez is not around in Formula One anymore. But for him to go, but for Sergio Perez going for the Cadillac, there's a high possibility, but that will be another time. You got Japanese Grand Prix, in which that is another very good OG track to remain on the calendar, in which that is a very positive. You got Saudi Arabia, Austria, Brazil, and China, that it will be in 2030s. And Saudi Arabia, I probably it will not be on the F1 calendar, but there's a lot of possibility that Qiddiya, a new circuit that Jeddah they are planning, they're currently constructing. But when it is finished, there's a high probability that it could be on the calendar somewhere in the late 2020s. And you got China. China, it will remain on the calendar. You got Brazil, Austria. There's the 2 OG tracks, and they will be remaining in the Formula One calendar. That it gotta be stay. You got 2031. You got Canada, Abu Dhabi, Monaco, Monza, and Belgium. And Belgium, basically, people find it anger that Belgium, they're gonna miss 2028 and 2030, maybe because they need to fix at that track layout, or they need a new space for a possible new track. Of course, it'll be street circuit. And you got Monza right now here that at least they got one Italian in the calendar, which that's another OG track. You got Monaco, like people, they want that track gone, or they want the cars to get smaller so that they could do some overtakings. You got Canada, in which it's an OG track. It will be remain on the calendar. You got Abu Dhabi, in which of course they are Arabians. They got the big money, and they're gonna be in the finale. They're gonna host the series finale for many years to come. And you got Hungary, an OG track, in which now it will be under constructed. They're currently under construction, which is nearly completed. It will remain in 2032. You got Qatar, in which it extended to 10 years in contract extension ever since they made a debut, the return heading into 2023 season fully, and you got Las Vegas. Despite they have a contract uh a contract year in this Las Vegas, now it's being extended for 10 more years, which is in 2032. In which now, despite being a negativity, the racing product in Las Vegas is actually very awesome. I mean, I know the 2023 it had a poor start because of Carlos Sainz's manhole hit the manhole, and people were forced out on the FP2, and 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 basically people ran the race a qual practice too on 2 o'clock at the Pacific, in which people literally falling asleep at this point. But they fixed a manhole, and they've learned their lesson that it will be fully checked if there's going to be a problem with manholes later on. And now Las Vegas, even though people dislike the street circuit in that place, it's actually the race product over there is very good. We see many passes after passes between car after car after car, in which 2024 credited as the most overtaking races in a single season in that season of 60 plus. That is a very good racing product, and we're gonna see the Las Vegas street circuit later more and more. And you got 2034 in British Grand Prix Silverstone. It will remain in that OG track. In 2000 and now 2035, this is where it got a lot of hate. In which Madrid, they're gonna stay in F1 for 2035. Yikes! That is a big loss for over one street circuit, and they're gonna be possibly remove. Sorry for the apologies for the dog barking in the background. They F1's they're gonna pick Madrid over Barcelona because Madrid is a street circuit and F1 wants the money. And guys, I'm not saying any positive or negativity or being a fan base or something. Guys, we don't. You may saw the cars hit on the AC and so on, but when it comes to when the F1 hit the car, my God, what am I saying? I know that you're bringing negativity, but you may say that it's gonna be a terrible race product when F1 real cars they did not hit even the track. When the F1 cars hit on the track in 2026, then you know. And if it doesn't hit the real life car on the track, you don't know anything. I know I'm not saying negativity or positivity or anything. I just bringing up concerns about the track, in which it's gonna be good or bad. When they hit the track, then you'll know. And if it doesn't hit the track, we don't know anything until they hit the cars on the track. This one, we're gonna see if it's good or bad. That's all I have to say. You got Bahrain. It will remain in the calendar for 2036, and in Australia, Melbourne, another OG track, it will remain in the next 12 years in 2037. And now, during Miami Grand Prix, firstly, it extended for 2032, and now it's extended for 2041. Miami Grand Prix in the US is gonna remain forever. Like, it's gonna stay for 2041. That is like let's see, 10 15 years contract extension, or 16 years. I think it's 16 years contract extended length I don't know, but Miami, my gosh, they F1 they want bigger money. Like they F1 chooses money over OG tracks, and the OG tracks basically means is they're gonna bring back like the German Grand Prix like Hockenheim, Nürburgring, Malaysia, Turkish Istanbul, and a couple of other OG tracks like Imola. Like F1's gonna lose the tracks like Imola, Barcelona, Dutch Grand Prix, and the list goes on and on and on. Like I love. Oh, I like what to see the new tracks. I like to see the old tracks returning, and they get rid of like the Portuguese Grand Prix, the Mugello Grand Prix. They get they get rid of France and Paul Ricard. But they get rid of. They could at least race some tracks that he never done before, or onto the modern F1 tracks, onto the modern like Fuji Speedway, Indianapolis Motor Speedway, Korea Grand Prix, Kyalami Grand Prix in uh oh dear, what did I do? Watkins Glen, but they and then the list goes on and on. And the tracks that they abandoned, Valencia Street Circuit. Damn, stop moving. Those are the OG original tracks. They could bring back the Indian Grand Prix. They could have bring back, but I don't think it will never return anytime soon. But they're basically milking for street circuits as much as possible. And basically they're bringing way too much on the calendar. Like 24 races. The better solution is add 16 to 18, maybe 19 races on the calendar, and they get rid of the contracts expiring. But now I would like to see the tracks returning like Portuguese Grand Prix once again. Mugello. I want to see another. I want to see F1 have another go. You may have hosted one time due to COVID, sure, but I want to. I would like to see F1 give it a chance at the at the tracks that they want to deserve its second chances, like Portugal and Mugello in Italy, um, India, Indian Grand Prix, um, Fuji Speedway, um, Hockenheim, Indianapolis Motor Speed Road Course, Istanbul, Korea, Kyalami. There's a good chance they could, but the South Africa Grand Prix, but there's a but the Cape Town in Africa, um, there's a high possible there. There's rumors that um that Cape Town has unveiled their street circuit, so that is not good for an F1 today. Like they're just bringing way too much. Like you got 3 United States Grand Prix in Miami, Las Vegas, Texas. I mean, I don't have a hate, but 3 USA calendars, like that's kind of is too much for one single season. And I know this is gonna be a repeat like what happened in the 80s, where the last time we see late 70s or early 80s, where they hosted 3 US Grand Prix, and where it hosted three USA Grand Prix. Um, 2 USA. They hosted tracks like Long Beach, Watkins Glen, and Caesar's Palace. Um, I'm kind of lost. There. They hosted Long Beach in the California. They hosted Watkins Glen. They hosted the Caesar's Palace. 3 USA in 1 year. That is big. Oh wait, it's sorry, my mistake. Long Beach in California, Detroit in Michigan, and Caesar's Palace in Las Vegas. And that was the last time where F1 raced in Caesar's in Las Vegas Grand Prix up until 30, 40 years later. Wait, 90s. So 31 years later, now they brought F1 brought back Las Vegas to life by adding a street circuit in the strip. And now there's a and since there's gonna be 2 slots open after Dutch and Barcelona be gone, there are 3 events they're interested to be a host in the calendar. Thailand Grand Prix, planning to enter a calendar with a street circuit. Morocco GP, applying $1.2 billion given to the green light to build a street circuit for Morocco Grand Prix be hosted. And Chicago GP planning to enter the calendar in a street circuit. Like, Jesus! A fourth USA Grand Prix? That's a major red flag. Like, 4 USA Grand Prix? That's way too much. It should be about like 2, which that's fine, but 4? That is way too much. And one of these 3 tracks is going to take over 2 open slots of the calendar. I mean, I want to see newer tracks that I've never done before, like Thailand and Morocco. That one, I would like to see it, but people are going to say negativity over street circuits, in which I want to see two new regions enter the track. And I don't remember Morocco was ever been in the F1 calendar. But Thailand and Morocco, those are those are the new regions they've never done before, which I would like to see it host. Oh wait, it did host a Morocco Grand Prix in location Casablanca in Ain Diab Circuit in Morocco and hosted since 1958. Only one time it hosted a Formula One calendar. That's over, wow, like 47 years ago? Like 66, 67 years ago since the last time it hosted the Morocco Grand Prix. Now they're gonna, I mean, in Morocco, they're gonna bring a new street circuit into the F1 calendar, in which I would like to see what it look like. So that I gotta see if it's gonna come or not. But we'll see if it's how it's gonna work out. Thailand, that is a most looking track on the calendar, and that could be the first Thailand to be in the F1 grid in the calendar for the first time in the history. That this one's gonna be a good event. Chicago, okay, now that where do I start? Like NASCAR, it hosted a Chicago street circuit, and and will it do the same right here in the street circuit layout the NASCAR used? I don't think so. It could be closer on the outside of the stadium and near to the river. That one I don't know, but this one we gotta wait for the next year or few years until Chicago. Maybe it's gonna be on the calendar, but probably not. So that one I don't even know. So if F1 basically wants to do basically just rent 24 races, like they could at least scale down to 20, maybe 19 races. That could put the teams and the people in their breathing room. And 24 races, that is a long calendar, and it's kind of way too much. But for now, those are the 24 tracks that's been revealed. Quite early, quite now we're in the summer, and I'm surprised this is not an early calendar reveal like what happened last year, where a couple of rounds in, it's already revealed the 2025 calendar. And now, I feel sad for Imola Grand Prix. It's one of the OG tracks, and I feel sorry to all Italian. Basically, like, you just lost a very good track for F1 to host. Excuse me. Like F1, they just lost. Like, they're not in the old roots anymore when they got got good OG tracks, and now today they use street circuits for money. And so, and for me, I predict that there's a high good probability that they're gonna add a calendar for like 25 to 26 races, or maybe more. I don't know, but 25 26 race calendar, that one, I that's the one that I predict. But 24 races, and they didn't add an OG track like Imola. You know, I feel sad, but that's how the sport is. So, well, I think we're gonna wrap this up here, guys. Thank you guys for watching, and we gotta find out what's happened next heading into 2026. Like 2026, they're gonna bring a brand new rule, and it's gonna bring new engine manufacturers and um, new car rules, new regulations, and new team to the sport. So that one's gonna be other time. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoy it. I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care, everyone.